Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an M36 Jackson. It's a Tier 6 American turreted tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Pilsen, and this one is under my command. Yes, it's being played by General Disturbance, and I'm doing what my members tell me to do, which is get some games in every now and then. And I'm enjoying the Battle Pass season that Wargaming's having at the moment. Very much enjoying that. And I knock down the camp to ensure that there's nowhere anybody can hide, and I'm off to the east side of the map, carrying my log with me. Yes, every tank should carry a log. And I'm getting a bit of an assist from this Cromwell. Now he's going to figure in this game a little later on, so we'll get to see him again. 2 marks on his barrel, so quite a good player, we'd think. Well, I'm on with the 90mm gun, and this gun is capable of doing 240 alpha, penetrating 160mm of armour. In this position I'm kind of hull down, but that Cromwell gets in the way, so I'm going to move over to the other side. Now I'm not so hull down in this position, in fact quite exposed to a certain extent. And okay, we've got an AMD over that side, and I fire a quick snapshot at him. Get a hit for 265 hit points, pull back, trying to reload, didn't get the reload in time. It's quite a long reload, it's 7 seconds or near enough, 6.9, and I'm worried about that AMD because he might actually overcome the P43 Biz and come round our rear. And so I'm not the only one who thought this, because the T3485M also doing the same, coming to the rescue, so to speak. And the AMD's been killed. Okay, at this point I suddenly realised, no, I don't need to be here. And I'll turn round and, oh, just saw an AMD get killed on that corner. Now, my sixth sense didn't go off, so presumably he didn't see me. So I'm motoring back to where I was before, and we can see there's an AMX 12 ton. A tier 6 French light tank, and he's right up against the cliff edge, and he's proximity spotting everybody up here for his TDs at the back. So I'm going to do what I can do here, which is dive over the edge, go after him, lock on and blow him away. So got rid of him. Okay, now that was an Arty round. Very snapshotty that one, Arty, that round. Missed me, but I'm going to try and use these coal heaps to approach the enemy side without being spotted. Okay, these big coal heaps here can actually be very useful, but the closer you get to the enemy, the more difficult it is to remain concealed. And it's at this point that I notice there's a P43 Biz over here. I'm just a bit concerned about a tank destroyer up on the hill seeing me. And I'm pretty sure there is one up there. The P43 is engaging our P43 and our T3485M. So I'm going to go straight for him and hit him on his flank. I get hit once by a T3485M. Over the top. Bang! One shot from the 90mm, enough to take him out. And I get hit by that T3485M again. So I've lost even more hit points. Auto aim on to return shots. You can see the shot went in through the side of the turret. So I've got 2 kills so far, and I'm going for my 3rd. Now the Jackson is basically a Wolverine with a 90mm gun in a modified turret. So it's got no armour as such, it's fairly slow, and the turret turns very slowly. But it's still a very effective weapon. Oh, I just for a moment see the T3485 fire a snapshot in. I was seen. He knows I'm here. Now I thought the fact that he knew that I'm in a Jackson might meant that he'd actually follow me. There was an Arty round. He's trying to get me. He knows how dangerous I am. I don't think he knows my moniker, my IGN, my in-game name. But if he does, then he might realise that yes, that's an Arty player in a tank. Now I'm just poking to see if they can spot me. No, they can't. Only 39% of my health left now, and I'm a 2-shot for the T34. Where is he? He's in these bushes somewhere. There he is! Yeah, no problem for a snapshot there. I was seen, but I'm going to have to move because Arty's going to have another go at me. Bound to. Head for the bushes, the same as the MX 12 ton, then change direction. There's the M44. He didn't go all the way over to the west side of the map. He's in the bushes, and our P43 is starting to deal with him. So I'm getting closer and closer to the cap area. MX 12 ton goes through. M44 is down. And it's at this point I realise, well, we might as well cap actually, because the enemy actually has the advantage on heavy tanks. And I noticed the SU-8 pull forward, miss with my first shot. He's moving. And yeah, get a blind shot killing him. And I pull back behind this rubble to stop the enemy Arty getting another shot at me. There's the Hummel. And one shot in kills him off. So that's the Pascucci's. But I'm going to continue the cap to force the enemy to come back to us. And we've got a KB2, fire a snapshot in. Have to leave the cap to pull back. Wait for the reload. Yep, no problem. He's gone. So that's my Top Gun. And it's at this point we notice a T-3485M coming up on me. I'm trying to get in position so I can get shots in. I fire one snapshot around the corner. Wait for the reload. Can't see him anymore. What I didn't notice on my minimap was there's a Striv M4257 on my left flank. And I have been seen, but I thought it was the T-3485M that saw me. Pulled back because I thought he was about to shoot. He did shoot. And there's the Striv. And he gets his second shot in very quickly to take me out of the game. So rather unfortunate there, but I didn't get any help from my teammates. And why am I concerned about that? In fact, I was very angry that there was no support and said so in chat. And get told to STFU, which I think most of you know what it means. The M44 on the enemy on our team has just been killed, and here's the Cromwell. That Cromwell we saw at the start of the game, the one who gave me a friendly push, and he's now facing off against the T150. Now, if he'd actually been helping me at the other end, we would have killed that Striv M4257, no problem. Now he's rather stuck up here in this position. There's that T-3485M, the guy who took a part in killing me. And he was seen because there's a big gap there. Now there's no enemy Arty left, of course, thanks to me and the other player on our team, the MX 12 ton. But now he's facing these mediums and the heavy, and all he's got is SU-8 for a teammate. Now we've lost sight of the T-3485M, but he pulls back behind these bushes, and there's the Striv M4257. He's dealing with our SU-8, and now the Cromwell is all alone. And that was a round just bouncing off the wreck there. Okay. And, oh, I flicked the wrong button there. Here comes the T-3485M. He's using the wreck for cover. He fires one in. T-34's coming in, YOLO. And it's really bad for the T-3485, who gets taken out. And here comes the Striv M4257, doing basically the same. Now he's got a magazine-fed gun, a 75mm. And he's easily taken down by Cromwell, but not before he actually puts a round in, takes the Cromwell down to just 54 hit points. And remember, the last enemy tank is a T150, and he just bounced around from that T150. Now the T150 can't see him anymore because he waited long enough to go invisible. But the T150 is just down there. So he pulls back to use the bush mechanic. You can still see the outline of the tank. And you see the T-150 is firing where he was last seen. And now he's using the bush mechanic. The T-150 can't see him at all. But of course, if you pull too far back, too long, you lose sight of where the enemy is. T-150, he reacquires. except now he's in line with the Rex, so obviously he's probably thinking about using the Rex for cover. That T150 is going to have to keep there because he can't go to the cap. If he caps, the Cromwell will kill him from a distance. So he has to deal with the Cromwell. There's nowhere else he can go. He can't go to the cap. The only other thing, of course, he could do was be to guard his own cap and prevent the Cromwell from capping, and that would force a draw, but I'm sure that T150 wants to win. Now, the Cromwell's actually using multiple bushes here now to get shots on the T150. Didn't get one there, but he's poking around that corner, and he's hit the tracks. Fires another one in blind. Reacquires. Now that T150 is a one-shot now. Very much a one-shot. 72 hit points. The Cromwell, I believe, can do 115 per shot. Okay, so he just needs to get a reacquisition. Just one shot should be enough. And the T150 tries a blind shot to no avail. Cromwell going around the corner. And there's the T150 in the open. Pulls back. Misses with the first one. Doesn't miss with the second. And that wins the game. Now, I can only suppose that the Cromwell did what he did because he wanted to win a Kolobanov. And he rather hoped that everyone else on the team would get wiped out and leave him with 6 weakened enemies so he can win the game. But if I'd actually had a bit of help in the cap, I wouldn't have been taken down by the Striv M4257 and probably would have taken out that T3485 because after all I had a 90mm gun, he only had an 85mm gun, so a couple of shots and I could overwhelm him. And that Striv M4257, I couldn't see him on my flank. He wasn't showing up as visible on my minimap, except of course as an unspotted tank. And therefore really I should have realized that the best thing to do, rather than actually be hiding behind this rubble, was to pull a bit further back, because if I pulled a bit further back then he couldn't have seen me from the flank. But yes, I did get killed in that game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, I managed to get a second class tanker in the M36 Jackson on this account. That's as high as I've got so far. As you can see, it's got the scrolls underneath, which means this is the highest achievement that I've got on this tank. On other accounts, I've got this as an ace tanker. I managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of my own vehicle, a Pascucci's medal because I took down 2 enemy Artys, the Hummel and the Su-8, and a Top Gun because I took out 6 of the enemy in that game. In fact, my win rate from that game was 3009, which is not bad, but not the high caliber. And the high caliber actually went to the Striv M4257 on the enemy team. He actually did 2636 hit points of damage, so he was very, very active. And if I'd known that he was such a good player, I don't think I would have allowed him to be on my flank. I would have hidden. I would have made sure that he wasn't possible for him to see me from that position, but I didn't know at the time, and I found out to my cost. You can see that there's my position. I was actually third on damage, just ahead of the T3485M, who only got 1216. I got 1229, and the Cromwell entered the game with 1770. He got 5 kills and 957 base XP, so I got the highest number of kills in the game. The Cromwell got the second highest, and the Striv got the third. And when it came to base XP, it was the Cromwell who got the highest with 957. I got 808, and it was the Striv who managed to get third place with 791. So if we look at the detail report, I fired 16 shots, got 9 direct hits, 8 penetration, and damage of 1,229 hit points, of which 211 were at more than 300 meters. So a lot of close range stuff, but also some long range shots as well. I think that was the KV2, which was most of the long range work. 6 hits received, I'm afraid. 4 penetrations to 1 non-penetration. Two of the penetrations came from the Striv M4257. One of them came from that T3485, and the other one came from In fact, actually 2 came from the T-3485. What am I saying? It was when he was the guy who was on the lookout over the coal pits and shot into my side. I also received 2 hits by way of splash damage as well from the enemy Arty, block damage of 180 hit points in total, and spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 6, and did 324 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, I earned 26,628 credits, and I got a personal reserve bonus of 6,657, so my total 33,285, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 19,726 credits. I received 2 bonds for the awards for the Top Gun and the Pascucci's, and 1,212 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 2,424 for completing the mission and events, and the same 1,212 again for personal reserve bonus, so I took away 6,060 altogether. So yes, just goes to show sometimes people who act as if they are your friends turn out that they're not your friends after all. They only want you to die quickly so they can then take the glory from you. And in this particular instance, if I'd actually had a bit of help, I think I probably would have been able to win that game a lot sooner than it actually went out. And it did effectively go down to the wire. If that Cromwell had been unable to fend off both the T-3485M and the Striv, and they both attacked at exactly the same time, there's no way that that Cromwell would have survived. He would have been wiped out. Because by fending off one, he would have been killed by the other, just as I was at the other end of the map. So there you go. A Cromwell who appears to be a friend, and then turns out he's not at all. And an Arty player who tells me to S the F up, to shut the F up at the other end of the map. And of course, he didn't realise that I'd been let down badly by that Cromwell player. There you go. It happens, I'm afraid, even on your own team. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.